Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the New Construction Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Anya Chrysanthon, and I have a returning guest, Kimberly Mackey, with me today. Kimberly is a CEO of newhomesolutions.com, so you guys check her out if you haven't already. Kimberly, it's your third time back on, right?
I guess it is because we did the IBS roundup last year. Yeah.
Yes, we did. So if you guys haven't heard Kimberly's previous episodes, I'll link to them in the show notes. And you can find that at anyachrysanthon.com/069. So you'll be episode 69. All right. So also Kimberly is going to provide some additional show notes for us today. And you guys can download that by heading over to anyachrysanthon.com/069 download. So Kimberly, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you. And if you don't mind, for those of us who are not familiar with you, can you give us a little bit of a background of who you are and tell us a little bit about your journey through the new construction realm?
Sure. So, I am Kimberly Mackey. My company is New Homes Solutions, and I've been in this business for a couple of decades now. So that makes me sound really old, doesn't it? I of course started, when I was very young. But I have worked for builders, the regional builders, local builders, the national builders, and worked in many different capacities. I've been an acting division president. I've been, most of my work has been in the sales and marketing realm as a vice president of sales and marketing. I've been an on-site salesperson, and I've been a director of construction. I've built homes. I've done purchasing, so a little bit, you name it, which gives me a unique perspective of how all the parts and pieces should fit together. So I work primarily as a management consultant for builders, sometimes doing outsourced sales management, and sometimes in more of that advisory or immersion capacity. So that's the bulk of my work. And I work with builders and developers and large real estate brokerages across the country.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, you definitely done it, been there before from all angles. So it's definitely always refreshing to have your perspective. So Kimberly, I've been having a lot of my listeners reach out to me lately and say, hey, things are slowing down a little bit in my model. I'm not seeing as much traffic as I'm normally used to. And it's pretty typical. We're in November now, and November, December are generally slower time of the month for real estate in general. So I know you have a program, 50 sales before walk-in traffic. Is that correct? Did I say it right?
50 sales per year before walk-in traffic. And then there's quite a few different ways to get there.
All right. So if we are trying to finish our year strong, and maybe we're just a few sales short before achieving our goal for the year, I wanted to talk to you about some of the ideas of what can we do to really make sure that we are on top of it, that we're generating that traffic. So what can be done in the last couple of months of the year?
So, hopefully our strong sales professionals out there are already working their realtors. They are reaching out. They're engaged in the marketplace and driving those referrals. But if you aren't, don't think that just because it's November, it's too late to do that, everybody is in the holiday frame of mind. Because that isn't the case. I think buyers and realtors have now been conditioned in new home sales to know that some of the best deals of the year can be had in November and December. So reach out, get active in the marketplace, go back through your dead leads, those C's and those D's. Everybody that I've been coaching in the past couple of weeks, I've said, how have you reached out? Let's go back to the dead lead file. And let's ask the question, where are you? I know I haven't spoken to you in a while, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. Where are you in your journey of owning a new home? That's a great way to just reopen the dialect with them and find out and remind them they had a goal of owning a new home. So where are they on that path? And instead of just calling going, hey, yeah, it's Kimberly, I'm just checking in. okay, nobody's going to call you back with that. But if you're calling because you're making it about them and you're asking them about their journey and their goal, they're more likely to engage with you and call back.
And that could actually be an easy text message, right? Because a
I
lot
was
of
just
times,
going to say, yeah, if you're not getting those return phone calls, then text them, because we know that over 60% of emails go unread. But all of us have those phones, right there in our hand, and we're much more likely to respond to a text message.
yeah,
And
that's a
don't
nice tip.
assume that because they are of an older demographic, maybe they're a boomer, that they won't text. So even my in-laws, who are not even of the boomer generation, they're before that, they're texting me. I got a text message from my mother-in-law this morning. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. Most people will text today.
Absolutely. And I can be a testament to that. So I have a baby boomer couple that I'm working with now. And from get-go, I kind of assumed that they would prefer a phone call. And so I would call them and they would return it with the text message. I was like, all right, well,
There
text
you go.
it is. And to your point about realtors and buyers being conditioned to know that some of the best deals are out there in November and December, just this morning, I got an email from somebody I had met earlier this year, and they said, hey, Anya, we met you and we want to start our home search in early December. We want to work with you. Who starts new homes and search in early December, you would typically think, right? Like, so I was like,
Well,
yeah,
it's the same thing
absolutely.
with listings. I have one of the gentlemen that I'm working with up in Wisconsin. He said to me he's got a buyer who doesn't want to put their home on the market until spring, and they're just dead set about doing that because they think no one will see it. And I said, actually, now is the time when you're going to have less competition. So if they've got that home to sell, now is the time that we need to be encouraging them, get that home on the market. So,
Absolutely.
and I'm doing the same thing. I've got lots of boxes and a pod sitting out front of my home right now because we're trying to get our home on the market, and I'm going to do it in December. So I practice what I preach. So
Nice. Are you going to sell your own home?
I am, because I am a realtor. So so I will do that, but through my brokerage. So I have lots of support and lots of help on that.
Nice, nice. Okay. All right. So you guys, so number one is reach out to your C and D prospects with an easy text message of where are you in your home, in your journey of owning a new home. That'll at least get you some kind of a response. Maybe you'll be able to re-engage them. So that's a great tip, Kimberly. What's the next thing that we can try?
So the other thing is work your realtor VIPs.
What is the Realtor VIP?
That's a great question. So often we get caught up in this e-blasting these realtors, and being a realtor as you are and I am, we get tons of these email solicitations. So what do? We hit delete.
Yep.
Delete. Realtors get really good at the delete button. So if you want to stand out, stop doing that. We are in the relationship business, and you don't need thousands of realtors to e-blast. What you need are 25 realtor VIPs who will bring you 2 deals a year. So if you're going to do 2 deals a year with 25 realtors, that's 50 sales a year before walk-in traffic.
Wow. Okay. So
So
how do we figure out who those Realtor VIPs are?
you have to have a relationship with them. These are the people that have you programmed in their phone. So I can call them up. I don't even have to have a last name. I just am like Cher, right? Or Beyonce, so nobody has to know that I'm Beyonce Knowles. I mean, there's Beyonce, right? That's it. So I can call them up and I can go, hey, it's Kimberly. And they know exactly who I am. And I can tell them, hey, I've got this amazing home nearing completion. It just needs a family. Let me tell you a little bit about this home, and you can tell me who you're working with, who might be a good fit for it. It's that direct. You've got that kind of relationship with them. Now, if you don't have 25 realtor VIPs, it's not too late to start. So November and December are going to be your serious realtors. These are the ones who work year round. They are full-time. They're not part-time realtors. So it's a great time to figure out who those are and start reaching out and establishing a relationship with them. And it's going to take you time. I mean, you're going to have to go visit them in their office. You're going to have to bring them stuff and bring them flyers. to invite them to come out and have coffee with you in your model.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to go to the Realtor association and join committees. And if they have a women's association of realtors or a women's council of realtors, get involved in that. Find ways to go to them and get active with them so that you can start to build those relationships, so that starting out for 2020, you've already got a couple that are started. And then just each month you start to add to it and build that kind of rapport. Talk to them. These are the people you sit down with coffee and say, how can I help you build your business? And how can we work together to build our business?
Yep. And you guys, it's so easy to position the benefit to the realtors of working with you. Just think about it. Most of your buyers probably have a house to sell, right? When they come in. So if they have a house to sell, you could have a realtor referral program that you would refer your buyers to sell their previous home with one of the realtors. So you can definitely say, hey, there's a benefit to bringing customers to me. Maybe the more the more people you bring to me, the more I put your name into this pot, so to speak, and the more referrals you're going to get from this. So that's number one. So that's a really, really easy way to get a realtor to come in and start working with you, just because what's in it for them? Hey, I got referrals.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
And then,
and when I was in general real estate, which was a really short window of time, I had a builder that broke my heart, and I said, okay, I'm done with home building back forever ago. I did about 3.5 months of general real estate,
mm-hmm.
and I did over $6 million in that amount of time, simply
Wow.
from working my sphere of influence with my home builder friends. So that business is there to be had for people that they know, respect, trust, and remember. So you just have to, you can, as a realtor, anybody listening to this on the realtor side, reverse market. You should have 25 on-site VIPs as well.
Yes, that's a great idea. Now, when you're trying to select those 25 realtor VIPs, what are some of the ways that you could identify those VIPs? So, one of the things I tell my students is maybe you look at the MLS listings and see who's doing the most business in the area.
Sure.
But sometimes those are big players, and it's difficult to get them to even sit down with you, right? But that's definitely a starting point. You can see who's already selling a lot or listing a lot of homes in your area and get started with them, reaching out to those people, right?
Yeah, that's a great list to start. And one of the things that I like to encourage people to do is, okay, find out who those big, heavy listing agents are.
Mm-hmm.
But most people in general real estate who focus heavily on the listing side don't necessarily handle the buying side. So they're referring that off, or they have team members
Mm-hmm.
that they're referring that off to. So if you're going to reach out to those heavy hitters on the listing side, ask them who their buyer's agents are.
Yep.
Because it's truly the buyer's agents that you need to be having that relationship with.
That's a good point, Kimberly. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely the buyer's agents, because the agents have all the buyers. In fact, I was just reading NAR research, and they said, gosh, what was the percentage? I want to say 94% of all home buyers for 2018 had a realtor representation, and only 6% were direct to the builder.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That is a big percentage.
Yeah.
In my market here in the Tampa Bay area, we run around 70 to 75%.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see it usually healthy, I'll see it around 60%, but yeah, there are pockets in the market where it's almost all realtor representation. And that the realtors are the ones who have the reload programs.
Yep.
They're the ones that are working with those corporate reloads. And we're even having programs down here with the fly and buy again, where they're literally flying people in. We're busing them around
Wow.
to show them homes, because they're bringing in so many people all at once. So, we are starting to see a lot of that movement, and it's hard for companies to bring people in right now. So they're getting creative on all the ways to fill the void that they have with the employment.
Yes, if you guys think about that number, I mean, of all home buyers in 2018, only 6% bought directly from builders and 94% bought through a realtor. So that's where the opportunity lies, right? To really tap into your relationships with realtors, because I mean, I'd love to get a chunk of that 94%, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
and sometimes we hear, from our builders who go, well, it's really expensive to do business with realtors. So I would like to address that, if you don't mind me taking a little
Yeah,
sidebar
I would
here.
love that.
But when you think about doing business with realtors, yeah, it may be 2 to 3% in your market, depending on what the traditional is in your market. That is leverage, because if the realtors have the buyers, you don't pay for all those marketing efforts to bring in those buyers. The
Mhm.
realtors pay for it. So you're leveraging their marketing. So you're not just throwing things out to see what's going to stick. You are only paying for performance.
I
So,
like
and
that.
and I understand, as someone who works with both realtors and on the general side, as well as on-site agents and builders, that a lot of times there's some of this that goes on, and there's some frustration that happens. That doesn't have to be the case. When you have realtor VIPs, these are
Mhm.
people you have a relationship with, and you can't have a relationship without having trust. So that means you've taken the time to educate those realtors in your process. So again, you don't have to, you can be selective. There are those realtors. Yeah, I remember when I was in on-site sales, my partner and I would fight over who could make it to the back door the fastest when we saw the realtors coming through the front door, because we knew, oh no, they're probably bringing us a sale, but is the next 6 months of our life and the chunks they were going to take out of our backside going to be worth it? Those are the people you can just, okay, whatever. They come in great, they don't, but you solicit the ones who understand your process. I always say, happy educated realtors create happy educated buyers. So educate those 25 who are your VIPs, and it makes your life so much easier. And they're really going out, they're bringing that value, they're supporting the process, they're partnering with you as the on-site person, and making a fantastic experience for their buyers.
Love that. And then you guys, I think it's all about making it really easy for the realtor as well. And one of the easiest things that you can do is, once the transaction takes place, just be sure that you copy the realtor on all of the
Oh,
communication with your buyers, because that's
absolutely.
one thing that a lot of salespeople forget to do, and they just don't think about the realtor at that point. But it's so important to keep the realtor in the loop, because what happens if you're not copying them and they're out of the loop and something happens, and then the client reaches out to them, now they look bad because they're not even aware of what's happening. So they would really appreciate being involved, staying in the loop, even if it's just an FYI, wanted to give you a heads up, this is happening. Or especially if there's an issue with a buyer, say something got messed up and you're about to make that phone call to the buyer, before you even do that, I would pick up the phone and call the realtor first, get them on the same page with you so that they can help you work through that issue. So a lot of the times they will try to smooth things over for you, and it's just important to keep them in the know. That way they'll be on the side with you and working as truly as a team.
Absolutely. Invite them to all the meetings except the design center. I tell all my realtors, stay away from the design center. We have trained professionals to handle that part. But when you have that realtor with you every step of the way, again, that's showing that we do really want to partner with them. That's a great education opportunity for them. Show them how to be a positive part of the process, because they want to be.
Mhm.
And if they don't know how to be a positive part of the process, they can become a disruptor in the process. And that's where problems are lie. So again, when you take the time to educate them, though, you just get rid of all of those kinds of concerns, because they'll know how to address the concerns with you, so that you guys can present a united front to the buyer once everybody understands how to take care of it. And sometimes they'll spot things even before the buyers.
True.
So I always say, get them involved, and keep them involved. When you take pictures, to your point, when you're reaching out and you're doing your weekly follow-up and you're taking pictures of those homes, get the realtors to go too, take those pictures for them and send those to them so they understand where the home is in the process. Because the last thing you want to have happen is at the very end, you go, okay, it's time to close. And they go, wait, what? I didn't even know you'd started the home. Or, oh, last time I drove by, it was at frame. Wow, that was fast. Again, keep them in the loop.
Yes, absolutely. So, and then once you've done that one transaction with the realtor, think about how much easier the second transaction is going to be, because now they know the process. They know that it's easy to work with you, because when they bring the buyer to you, they know you do the selling. They can just kind of step to the side and let you do all the hard work, so to speak. So, and then they know once the buyer is sold, it's an easy and smooth process. So they'll be more likely to bring more clients your way. Now, a realtor, Kimberly, how do you feel about realtor referral program? So implementing something that would potentially reward repeat realtors.
I think it's fantastic, because we all know the hardest part is to attract a new customer.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about your realtors, they are your repeat buyers.
Mm-hmm.
They are your repeat business. I mean, sure, you might get a family that gives you, a referral from the grandparents bought and then the parents bought, and or somebody refers their cousin or their. That's great. But realtors, if you treat them well, are going to be your repeat buyers. So I work with a lot of builders who run a realtor VIP program.
Mm-hmm.
So that after maybe your second or third sale, you're starting to maybe earn some points toward a cruise or toward a vacation, or maybe you are you're going to pay them a bonus on something. And I think that's great. I think they should be rewarded for their loyalty. We know those loyalty programs work. I mean, I'm a frequent flyer. I go through, I pay more for tickets. I fly around the world sometimes just so I can stay on that same airline, right? Because I want to have those rewards. So, there's a reason that those things work, and you might as well use them on your repeat buyers, which are your realtors.
Mm-hmm.
So I even have a little sample. I created a chart, if you will, to give people the idea of how to do a VIP program. Okay. And it's kind of a pick and choose, but it comes from, having that consistency. And consistency is the key there. So, when I like to reward right behavior and start at the very beginning. So when they come out to preview, I'm gonna send them a thank you note, a handwritten snail mail thank you note, not an email. And so that I am thanking them for coming out, for spending the time, letting them know I'm here as a resource for them. Mm-hmm. And anything that they need, just don't hesitate to call me. Then when they come back, I want to remind them to schedule an appointment with me, especially if I'm on a competitive floor, but even if I'm not on a competitive floor, so that I can schedule time with them and have that dedicated time to treat their buyers with the red carpet treatment that I know that they want me to do. And then when they do that, I'm going to reward them by maybe going by the grocery store and getting a little thing of flowers and then taking it by their office, so that they set it on their desk and they go and they have it there, and it's got my card right there in it to say, hey, thanks for coming out and bringing me Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I really enjoyed meeting them, and I'm looking forward to working with you. So, but if they have something sitting on their desk like flowers, or if they're guys and you don't feel comfortable giving it to guys, then they make those little candy bar arrangements, or edible or cookie arrangements or something. But it doesn't have to be big. I'm talking in the $10-15 range, just something that they're going to leave sitting on their desk that people in their office will walk by and go, hey, who sent you that? That's cool. And it starts a conversation, so that then they can tell their fellow realtors how great you are to work with.
Yeah, remember, you guys, people will always forget what you said, but they'll always remember the way you made them feel. So that goes back to how you want to make somebody feel. And it's the little things that most salespeople won't do.
It really is. And or they'll do it, and they'll do it sporadically, which is the kiss of death in the real estate world. These people their whole business is based on cooperation. Yep. So if you're going to take on something like this, you must do it, and do it consistently. I recommend that this be something that the builder champion and the sales manager actually holds their sales team accountable to do. Hey, so-and-so came by and showed your homes last week. Have you been by their office yet? with the flowers or the cookies or whatever the company decides is going to be the appropriate gift. But if your company isn't doing it, do it on your own.
Agreed. So yeah, make them feel appreciated. Realtors are people too.
Yes, they are. We forget that, don't we? Yes, they are.
All right. So we talked about reaching out to your C's and D prospects. We talked about having a relationship with your VIP realtors, how to identify your VIP realtors, and what to do once you establish that relationship with your VIP realtors. Any other tips that you can think of that would work for us on a kind of a last minute thing right now?
So, I think even though it's a crazy hectic time of year, if you've got homes that are under construction, you can have those dusty shoe walks or the muddy shoe
Muddy
walks.
shoe, yeah.
For some of you, you may have to have the snowy shoe walks given the weather. So, get those realtors out and get them in those homes and go over the features, go over the benefits, describe the kind of person or the kind of family who would like to live there, not breaking any fair housing violations.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk in general. Like if you have a buyer who is looking for the home office, look at this fantastic home office opportunity in this home. Or if you have that buyer who needs some flex space, look, we could use this room in a multitude of ways, or anything that if you have that buyer with that special need to have a gym or home office, look, there's this great bonus room back here that where all of that can be set up. Those kinds of triggers will remind them who they are working with.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just calling up and going, yeah, I have this great 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, and it's got a den, and it's in such and such school district, and we're asking so much for it. That doesn't have your homes tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Because that doesn't tell a story when you just talk about that. Every home out there, okay, it's a 322, okay, good. What makes it special? What makes it unique? And how might it benefit that buyer? So that in a way that the realtor could go, oh, wait a minute, yeah, I am working with Susie Q and Tom. Well, maybe they would like to see this home.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to give them a story, and that will help people to relate. But it's not too late at the end of the year to get out there and get in front of these realtors. It's not too late to do your marketing and get out in the community. It's not too late to call your past customers or those C's and D's. Don't give up on the end of the year. Now's the time for the full court press.
Yes. And you guys remember that it's also for a lot of you, the build cycle is 90 plus days. So that'll really put you in the spring, right? So you can definitely start with that message that, hey, if you're looking to move in the spring, guess what? You actually need to start the buying process now, not wait till the spring, because once you're in the spring, that's really going to put you in the fall. So,
well, and depending on where you are, I mean, with the winter build process, which certainly takes a little bit longer, even if you can pull permits quickly, really, I would say if you've got buyers who want to move before next year's school starts,
yep.
Now is the time they need to be writing, because they're going to have to do their selections. They're going to have to get pre-qualified. There's a lot that goes into it. And then by the time we pull that, we dig, we build the home, you're really falling into summer. You're getting close to being right there where school starts next year. So let's have that urgency. When we have the urgency, our buyers and our realtors will have the urgency too.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And remind your buyers that, hey, waiting till springtime is probably not necessarily the best move, because everyone else is out in the market in the springtime. Competition increases. That means you may have to go higher on your price in order to get the home that you really want, versus during a slower time of the year where you don't have as many buyers competing for the same homes, and you are typically able to get more favorable pricing. So stress those points to them, because most people just don't think about it. They don't understand that. They think, oh, nobody's buying houses in November, December, but why not? Educate them, let them know that it's the opposite of what most people would do is what you should do, right? Like Warren Buffett says, when it comes to investing, it's like you want to do the opposite of what most people would do. So same thing goes with home buying process. It's almost like you want to do the opposite of what most people would do, because most people don't understand the process.
That's exactly right. Very good points.
Yep. So, all right. So, you guys, I think we've given you some really good ideas here as far as generating traffic at the end of the year. Remember that it's never too late to finish a year strong. So, go back to the basics, pick up the phone, try texting. Texting definitely works a lot better. Everyone is hooked onto their phone. So, just do a mass reach out via text messages. I think that's definitely always my go-to when things slow down for me. I pick up my phone, start texting. It's easy and you'll usually get a response. At least you'll know where they are in the process. Even if you get a no, you know. So all right, well, Kimberly, thank you so much for the information you provided to us. I appreciate it. And you mentioned that you're going to give us a little downloadable cheat sheet. Can you tell us a little bit about that cheat sheet?
Yeah, it's just a VIP program. It's a one sheet thing. It's a chart that just shows you, gives you some ideas of what you can do to create that Realtor VIP program. It's a good foundation, and you can pick and choose different parts of it or modify it to your heart's content. Of course, you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to give you more information on it as well.
Great. And you guys, I will link it at aniacrisanton.com/069 download. And Kimberly, if somebody wants to work with you or they want to learn more about you, where can we find you? Where can we connect with you? And are there any speaking engagements? What are you up to over the next few months?
Well, I'm glad you asked about the speaking engagements, because you and I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the International Builders Show in
Yes.
Las Vegas, Nevada, coming up in January on the 22nd through the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Anya and I will be speaking with our friend Quint Lears, and we're going to be talking about marketing versus sales. Whose job is it? So that promises to be a very spirited and so much information. We're having trouble narrowing it down. So I am really looking forward to speaking with you at the International Builder Show. I have another talk coming up at the International Builder Show as well. So you can certainly find me just by searching for me on that website, on the international, on buildershow.com. Also, if anybody wants to reach out to me, you can just Google Kimberly Mackey or search New Homes Solutions, with 2 S's in the middle.com, newhomessolutions.com. Reach out to me. I'm happy to assist you in any way that I can.
And as always, I'll always link all the information in the show notes so you guys can definitely check Kimberly out. Well, thank you so much, Kimberly, for being on the show today. I really, really appreciate your time. You're always a wealth of information. And I hope you guys got some new ideas of what you can do right now to finish your year strong. So I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Anya.
Bye.